the fourth estate is our very, very close partner. We sometimes do not only hear the good things, especially when you expose our weaknesses, but also we are together when you celebrate our victories. More than that, we are working together to build a better sports system than just to report the scores and what's happening. We have traveled together, we have worked together. I believe that you were with us when we were working on the sports review, and many times we are informed of the decisions we make. Even every time you see our PS or our minister, it's what probably, even at the top level, HE, it's basically what you have informed us, and it helps us make decisions which are meant to improve the sports ecosystem in this country. So we are grateful. We encourage you to continue working with us, and we will continue to support you, even as you support us. Many at times when the leadership of SJAC has come to us concerning especially major championships, which are very key, the Olympics, the Commonwealth, talk about what's just happened the other day with our Harambee Starlets. We want to appreciate. It's very true, it's very obvious. We cannot always keep quiet. You can never keep quiet. You will never do your work if you do not come and expose Ratemo and his misdeeds, because we are interested in improving sports, not for ourselves, but for the sake of Kenya and our younger people and the future. So we also appreciate the fact that you are our controls in a way. Yeah? We are aware that when we do wrong, we shall be exposed. And therefore, we truly want to appreciate the very pertinent role that you people play. And we encourage you, and we invite you to come to our offices. They are open to you. As Chuck President is very much aware that our offices are open to him. Yeah? And any one of you, in case you want to learn something, you want to advise us on anything, please, you are most welcome.
How do institutions grow? Yeah? How does an institution grow? Take your institution as a business. How does a business grow? The business grows by enhancing the sales, because the sales becomes a source of revenue that the institution gets money from. Secondly, you control your expenses so that each and every year your expenses are at a controllable level. When you look at the year 2026, when you look exactly at the amount that you received in the year 2026, without focusing on what you brought from the previous year, you actually spent more than you received. You spent more than you received, which means that growth was halted. You need to re-examine, the management need to re-examine your sources of funding. What are your sources of funding? Can you be able to expand the funding base? And when you look at that accountability statement, if it can be reflected again, one of your sources of funding is members' subscription. Are you saying that you have recruited all the sports journalists that we have in Kenya? Are they all of them on board? Treasurer, Secretary Moses, have you recruited all the members of the Sports Association? No. I'm very sure that you have a number of members who are sports journalists who have not joined your organization. So what are you supposed to do to embed them? How are we supposed to do to put them on board? What are the outreach measures that you are undertaking to make sure that non-members who have not joined you have joined you? What measures are you taking? You need to examine that. Because as a sports journalist, my hope is that when I was thinking that every sports journalist is a member of this organization, but they have not. That is one source of revenue. Bring all the members who are supposed to be on board, make sure that they are on board. What steps? And this is not the work of the committee to do. It is the responsibility of each one of you. You are the people who knows. You may have a friend who tells you, I'm not joining that organization. It is your role to convince him the benefit of joining that organization. So one of the...
So just looking at the bigger picture, in terms of the revenue we've managed to get, it's 5.19 million. Last year was a tough year for us. We managed to get 3.4. So you can see we've worked hard. There's been a 67% jump. And for the membership specifically, like you guys really stepped up. We moved from 210 to 455. That means 113 members have paid their annual subscription. And congratulations, clap for yourselves. So in terms of our, I think we can go, because I want us to take you through all our specific revenue, the revenue streams, like how we got each of the revenues. There you have it. The member subscriptions, 455,000. We received a KCB sponsorship of 600,000 during that period. And Betika also came on board. They took up the Coach of the Month award. And then the National Olympics Committee also contributed 200,000. And we had one last Sports Personality of the Year award that LG paid us for. You can see the welfare kitty is on zero this time. As the president and SG have mentioned, the welfare is now its own separate group. They've opened their own account. So I'll encourage members to join. I know in the AOB, you can bring up some of the hesitations you have about it. The anti-doping agency also contributed 280,000 and also took us on a trip to Mombasa. So that's the total, 5.1 million. If we can now just go through the expenses. So in the accounts, you'll see there's a deficit of 477,000. I don't want that number to worry you. I need you to think of it as, we closed the account last year with 1.5 million. So we had a surplus of money in the bank account. And the whole point of this organization is to make sure we're spending the money and investing it back into the members and investing it into the activities. So that's where a number of the expenses went to. As you can see, none of us have paid the exco. It's voluntary. And so our expenses come through a salary. None of us have paid a salary. Let me be clear. So in terms of the travel, meals, and accommodation, that's to fund all the traveling to all these different workshops, the travel costs. Moses mentioned Ateka. Ateka does a number of errands for us. And also we have these meals that we take care of in terms of like the CSR. So all of that. And then also for the various funerals that have happened, you know, we always send a representative of SJAC to be there when it's someone who's part of the SJAC membership. For the CSR, I don't know how many of you had the opportunity to go to the medical camps. CSR is something that we heavily pushed when we were campaigning, and it's slowly coming together. So I don't know if many of you managed to go to the medical camps. We also paid for the meals for the medics who were there, and there's some other different, you know, Abula has been spearheading our CSR we visit some of the former sports stars and, we help donate to that. For the communication, internet, social media costs, the cost of running the website, the cost of every month paying to host, and also for the email address, and then the credit for...
I want to acknowledge this reality directly. Your struggle is SJAC's struggle, and we do not take the weight of these economic headwinds lightly. Yet, even in this storm, our collective ship has made unmistakable progress over the last year. First, if I may talk about growth and retention, our SJAC family continues to expand. We have successfully welcomed more than 24 new members into our fold since our last AGM, proving that the association remains a vital home for sports storytellers. However, our growth faces a clear challenge. Several seasoned members have failed to renew their membership in good time. I urge all our senior colleagues to prioritize our renewals because your experience, leadership, and presence are the bedrock of this organization. If I may talk about welfare and the welfare milestones, I am proud to announce that SJAC welfare scheme is officially up and running with a fully independent account at the Nation DT SACCO and well-being, recognizing the intense pressure of daily newsroom deadlines and field assignments. We prioritize the holistic health of our members. Over the past year, we organized free medical camps to monitor our general physical and mental health, ensuring you are all supported both on and off the clock. On empowerment and opportunities, which is very important, despite shrinking newsroom jobs, SJAC has actively created remunerated opportunities across major local and international sporting events. For the first time, we had a record of over 40 members who were engaged and compensated directly in a single event. When we walk through the doors of SJAC, let us all know that there are no titles or hierarchies here. We are all equal partners building a stronger future for Kenya sports journalism. This is very important because I've seen a lot of disrespect in the group, watu wanaitana majina and all that. Some people think they're more senior than others and all that. So let's be humble.
That we've created for the members, the institution progress that we've been able to make, the challenges that we've been able to encounter, and the priorities that we have now, and also what I believe should be able to guide us in the next cycle, and that is in the next calendar year. Now, we meet at a difficult time, as our president has been able to allude to, in this field of journalism. It is a fact. Job losses, delayed salaries, shrinking newsroom budgets, changing business models, and also rapid evolving of the digital platforms continue to place enormous pressure on media practitioners. Sports journalists have not been spared in this reality. These realities have reinforced my conviction that SJAC cannot be an association that exists principally just to convene meetings or to facilitate accreditation or just to be able to get someone a trip to go somewhere. SJAC must create value for its members. The value must be seen through professional opportunities, representation, capacity building, welfare, networking, partnerships, advocacy, if you ask me, and also stronger institution, and that stronger institution is SJAC itself. Now, during the year, we continued strengthening our membership records, communication channels, and also the institution documentation. Our SJAC Secretariat at Nyayo National Stadium remains an important institution asset, just as our president has been able to say. It gives the association a permanent physical home and also provides members with a space for work, meeting, networking, and also association activities. Our membership remains the foundation of SJAC. As the president has said again, the association welcomed 24 new members. If we have a new member present, tafadhali tusimame I spoke about the ambition of SJAC to strengthen the digital presence and progressively develop the SJAC digital concept. The ambition remains. The media industry is moving rapidly towards digital-first consumption. SJAC cannot remain behind. However, our approach must be very strategic. A digital platform should not exist simply because we can create one. It should provide opportunities for members, showcase quality for sports journalism, strengthen the SJAC brand, provide the spaces for emerging journalists, and also potentially contribute towards revenue diversification. This remains an important area for future development. Now, the Constitution review process has also remained an important institution matter following discussions and also resolutions from the previous AGM.
I think the partnership that we have had with SJAC stems back to the inception of ADAC in 2016, and I think we have steadily been able to strengthen that partnership with time, and we really value the contribution that you members of the Fourth Estate are making to the creation of awareness and just giving information on the fight against doping is concerned. You make very great contribution to the same. Worked with the agency for the last almost 10 years now, and been in the hot seat in the fight against this very, very cruel menace. And as a professional in this field, I have come to believe that how we prepare our athletes, both physically and mentally, and I'm not just not speaking to the journalists, but of course the whole fraternity in sports, how we prepare our athletes physically, mentally, morally, is not just a side conversation to competition. It's a whole story. And the medal is only the final sentence to in much that longer paragraph which we're talking about. So the questions that we need to ask ourselves as the fraternity of sports, and is really a question that needs to trouble all of us this afternoon, is how prepared truly is the Kenyan athlete to face the world of the current competition that is going on now. Because we are normally very quick to celebrate preparations measured in kilometers, the outcome of it, and the personal best times that are normally placed by our athletes. But there is normally a second, quieter preparation that we rarely ask about. And the question is the athlete prepared to say no to the predisposing factors that lead them to be corrupt in terms of doping? Is the athlete prepared to face a coach who normally whispers that everyone is doping, so please do it? Is the athlete prepared to walk away from a supplement of unknown origin handed over to her by a well-meaning but poorly informed manager? Is the athlete prepared to understand what they are putting into their body and why they are doing so? So too many of our athletes arrive at the start line superbly conditioned by the track and dangerous unpreparedness, by the systems around them, and basically what the outcome that normally, what we see is not their failures, but can we now take the blame and say, if the outcome is negative, let's own that failure ourselves.